The last semester, our group actively explored what it means to be a leader. Each week, we would head out on the kayaks or head into the boat shed and do a number of different activities that acted as a platform for us to explore the different concepts pertaining to leadership. As the term progressed, so too did the different activities. Each week of activity had a different theme under the umbrella of leadership. In the beginning, the games were basic, designed so that we would learn each other's names and a little bit about each other. As we developed as a team and grew more comfortable with each other, the activities changed to challenge us as a team, to test and strengthen the intergroup bonds, and finally to facilitate introspection so that each of us could gain a deeper understanding of what it means to be a leader. Throughout the semester, we learned how lucky we were to have a group as good as ours. Each person in our group was keen to get involved in all activities. There was never a shortage of volunteers. And the same holds true for this presentation. Each person in the group took on a different role that was suited to their particular skills. And as we will see in the continuation of the video, each person had an active involvement and a positive influence.
In this section, we will talk about leadership and learning styles.
Individuals have different learning styles, that is, they differ in their natural, habitual, and their preferred ways of absorbing, processing, and retaining new information and skills. Learning strategies and styles are described in a range of ways. One way to categorize learning styles is to divide these into kinesthetic, auditory, and visual learning styles. Kinesthetic is a learning style in which learning takes place via experience, e.g. moving, touching, and doing. Auditory learners absorb information through listening. Lastly, visual learners have a preference for seeing material in order to learn it. During one of our kayaking sessions, we were given a task where one person in pairs of two used these three different learning styles in order to teach the other person of how to draw a H in the water using their kayak. By doing this, it became obvious that every individual tends to favour one learning style more than another, but also that a combination of these learning styles often is key to success. Moreover, we realise that in order to be a good leader, it is essential to engage all types of learning.
There are different ways to categorise leadership styles, but these are the most common. Democratic leadership is when the leader makes decisions based on the input of each team member. Although he or she makes the final call, each group member has an equal say in the decision. This leadership style can be ineffective when decisions have to be made quickly. It also has weak points when team members have different opinions on the best way forward. Autocratic leadership is the inverse of democratic leadership. In this leadership style, the leader makes decisions without taking input from anyone else in the group. The other group members are then expected to adhere to the decisions stipulated by the leader. This is a good leadership style in urgent and stressful situations, such as within the emergency services and the military. Laissez-faire leadership is the least intrusive form of leadership. The French term laissez-faire literally translates to let them do, and leaders who embrace it relinquish most, if not all, authority to other group members. The lack of direction in laissez-faire leadership, though, can result in demotivated team members. Within our group, the most common leadership style during the recreational activity planning process has been democratic leadership. Although some tasks have been solved with a more laissez-faire approach, decisions were made based on the input of all team members. Although technical and analytical skills are necessities of a leader, some studies suggest that the fundamental attributes which differentiates a good leader and a great leader is emotional intelligence. It comes in 5 components: self-awareness, self-regulation, motivation, empathy, and social skill. Self-awareness allows you to know your own weaknesses and lets you act accordingly to compensate for it. This could be seen when trying to solve the different tasks. Knowing our strengths and weaknesses allowed us to take in charge in our strong areas and help each other in our weaknesses. Self-regulation allows for the control of your own impulses to use in a positive manner. Motivation is the third trait, which is the passion for achievement. This was seen throughout our recreational activities, especially when competing in 2 teams, as we were highly motivated to outperform the other. Empathy is the ability to take into account the emotion of others when making a decision. Along with the last trait, social skill, it helps improve team formation and our team relationship.
Self-awareness and emotional intelligence is a critical part of team development. Leaders need to facilitate constructive feedback amongst group members to critically analyse themselves in order to develop an effective team. Johari's window explains how promoting honesty and sharing of knowledge enhances communication and understanding, allowing a heightened group performance. Striving towards an open window where all relevant information and skills are known by the individual and also the group is the basis for an effective and productive team, while also reducing areas of the unknown which can be experienced at the commencement of a team with constructive feedback, encouraging disclosure, self-discovery, and reflection.
Leaders with high emotional intelligence, being able to perceive, understand, and manage emotions, increase team performance against targets, decreases anxiety, and leads to better relationships with team members. The challenge of getting as many people as possible on a boat shows how our team performed against targets using our close relationships, and reflects how much our team has developed from the start of the unit. Attributes of leaders and skill levels of team members influence the roles which were undertaken. with individuals with the relevant skills being utilised and stepping up to the mark when called on. Team traits of increased extroversion and social cohesion resulting in strong relationships, task cohesion, and decreased neuroticism. The 5 stages of group development require effective leaders to guide the team into the optimal performing stage. During the first stage, forming, team members feel the need to be included, conformed, and depended on by the leader. Leaders need to differentiate roles, clearly outline tasks and plans. As seen in the ball tossing challenge, arranging members to best suit the task based on skills. The second stage, storming, team members challenge authority and conflicts arise. Leaders need to encourage independence, resolution, and balance. The stage of norming, members are focused and trust each other, and leaders encourage cohesion, feedback, repair from storming, and set goals.
Planning and undertaking the final challenge incorporated a number of different themes that we learnt about through the semester. Number 1, safety and risk management. All participants wore life jackets as most of our time was spent on the water, and we maintained an auditory group spread, making sure that the kayakers at the front and the back were within earshot of each other. Number 2, goal selection. For this, we focused on strategy and being realistic. In terms of strategy, we planned our route by what would be most time efficient. Someone held the map at all times to make sure we were en route and our focus directed. To stay realistic, we set time limits for each activity and accepted we wouldn't have enough time to do everything. Instead, doing the activities that we could do to the best of our ability. Number 3, maximizing group cohesion and allocation of roles and responsibilities. By this session, our group was settled into the performing stage. We knew our roles and our responsibilities, and little to no oversight was needed. The team was committed to performing well, and we were focused on our strategy. As we knew our roles within the group, our group cohesion was maximized. We were also given points per task completed, so that helped motivate team cohesion. Number 4, decision-making process. As positions or roles came with defined responsibilities and tasks, this made decision-making process much more effective. One example of our decision-making process was the coordinator. This person helped decide who would perform each task depending on their strength. Other examples include the videographer makes sure that someone has the GoPro, the map holder directs the group, decides which place to go next, and the front kayaker decides on the pace. This process made sure that everyone had a role and was able to experience leadership in different areas. It also made sure that there was a role of acceptance and efficacy with no role conflict or ambiguity. Number 5, conflict resolution. No conflict resolution was really needed in our final task. Go team! Number 6, recording the experience. As depicted in this presentation, a GoPro camera was attached to the helmet worn by different group members throughout the activity, and phones were used to take some group pictures too. When we first came together as a group at the very start of semester, most of us started off as strangers without knowing each other's names. Group interaction based on that particular stage of group formation was awkward at the time, as group members were taking the time to suss out everyone else's personalities, maintain niceties and politeness with each other. As we got to know each other and became more comfortable with each other, group interaction became smoother as we progressed past the forming stage. We could then complete basic tasks with some effort. For example, preparing the kayaks in the morning before class started. We had to bring the kayaks out from the shed and put in the bunks, ask how many more oars or life jackets we need to bring out. We then learned that the group interaction is dynamic, where some people may have good days and some may have bad days. Your team would support you if it was a bad day, and they had to pick up your slack. And then, when they had a bad day, you would do the same for them as well. Over time, we learn of each other's personalities and eventually find a comfort zone within the group. As the group progresses, group interaction evolves. Basic tasks get accomplished faster without the need for discussion. A quintessential example would be us having to wash up after class. Washing up used to require much more time and effort from the whole group, as there were many different things to be done. Bringing in the kayaks, taking turns to wash them, washing the oars, washing the life jackets, all those sorts of things. But over time, we got faster at it, and everyone ended up taking turns washing the kayaks or bringing in the kayaks from the shore. As aforementioned, there are many different types of leadership attributes. As the task changes, group members might display different leadership characteristics and therefore adapt their roles to fit the task. The norm being that the more knowledgeable person would be the specialist, who would guide and lead and advise everyone else, while everyone else plays support roles. In terms of general tasks, group members would then take the initiative to play the role of a leader. If people tend to be introverted, the group members would demonstrate leadership by encouraging them to attend the task at hand.